and that's the spot. Say, you just open it, I'm ready. I'm opening up here today, yeah. Oh, you signed? Okay. Good. I done it, what happened? That's his building.
Yes.
That's his building. You own that bedroom, right? Okay. Well, then tell me what's he gonna do with it, they say tired one. If one sell the business to, owner, they gotta work in there,
They're gonna talk about.
yeah, gotta work by him, the Mexican guy. Yeah, they were gonna sell the business to him.
Okay, we're gonna come to order now. It is 7:20, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, welcome to our March meeting. I'm Ethan, I'm the chair, I'm the committee chair. I'll just do a quick round of intros so everyone knows who we all are. Noah,
Hi, my name is Valerie Fleming. Welcome. I'm a resident member of the Transportation Committee.
Thank you, Val.
Hi, my name is Felice Robertson. I'm second vice chair of Committee Board 9, long-time residents.
Right, thank you, Philly.
Hi, I'm Andrew Magnus. I'm the vice chair of this committee and a community board member.
Right, Andrew, thank you.
Hi, I'm Felicity De Jesus, I'm a community member.
Nice to meet you, too.
I'm Paco Abraham, I'm a longtime community member and on this committee and secretary.
All right, very good. You good.
alright,
Thank you, family.
alright. Before we get into any other agenda items, the first thing we're gonna do next is just take care of our February minutes. Those minutes are here in front of us, we'll just do a quick review and decide on changes or approval numbers. Now, it should not take too long, I'll give them a second to review it. And we'll decide on that, and then after that, the first thing is the code name request. No, those are the minutes,
And it is on the table.
I just wanna,
Do you have any changes or corrections to these?
I can see some.
No, throughput is the number of buses that they can get through in a certain time frame.
So that's not something.
Okay. And then there was the other one pertaining to Lincoln, this one, Lincoln, Trust Bank. So you wanna look at. Is that?
No, the questions on yours. Other questions on that?
I don't understand.
Oh, I asked this question. Yeah. So, frequently buses just stop there when they're between their routes. So like a bus that's scheduled, is if they terminate there or they start there, they're on a scheduled route, so they'll just sit at the curb for like 5, 10, 20 minutes without a driver or an operator in the front. The signs will be off, they'll just be at the curb. If we're changing the routing, it's mostly a question for MTA about how they plan to handle changes in capacity there.
So my question would be, do they have a place to, release themselves? Cause.
Or go to the bathroom.
They use the bathroom inside Prospect Park Station, but that is not a question about the
But
minutes.
that's
a
also,
question
that's
for
also
MTA.
their clubhouse, they have like a house there, like a,
Yeah, they have a staff facility inside Prospect Park.
yeah.
But it's mostly just like if we change a lot of the routing, how is that going to impact the number of stopped buses that are just on the curb sometimes? That's what the
They need
minutes
to
was
take
saying.
a break. That's what they do.
Not
Switch
sometimes,
buses.
all the time, so it's a permanent situation. I live there.
Okay. So we could talk more about that.
Recovery time is just, 'cause, 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 'c
I'm on Ocean between Parkside and Lincoln. I'm very familiar
It's
with
the time
Lincoln.
to
We
start
want to
their
bring
next,
the MTA
next,
here.
next trip.
To ask questions about their operations planning as they roll out the next iteration of their bus redesign.
That stretch from Ocean Avenue to Flatbush should not be traffic, period. Should not be vehicle. Should be a pedestrian. If you look at what's been done to Fort Greene, to Vanderbilt, to other same site, that stretch, little stretch, it is dangerous for pedestrians leaving the coming home.
On Lincoln Road between Flatbush and
Between Flatbush and Ocean Avenue.
So that we
Your point is
can,
well noted.
excuse me, when I say
Just
that,
I'm sorry, excuse me, we can't all talk at one time.
so I just wanna say, since we were just doing the approval of the minutes,
Right.
so we don't stray off into the next conversation until that part comes up, cause
Pardon me, I'm
it's,
sorry.
no problem. I was even here, so that we can kinda stay focused.
Yeah.
And those-
This is the approval of the minutes.
That wasn't a correction.
Do those comments make sense? Should I clarify overall?
Yeah, because I didn't understand, but clarify that, but maybe, because I questioned it, somebody else may ask some question.
Okay.
But, I got it,
Alright.
thank you.
So,
So, any other suggestions or changes? No? Okay. So welcome to a motion to adopt these. You can bring them.
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
Andrew, is that?
sure.
Alright. Any objection to adopting the minutes? Is there any? No? Comments, is that for these? Okay, alright. Okay, so the February minutes have been adopted, those are confirmed.
So you guys are meeting with the DOT soon, and preparing questions, is that what?
That's, you're talking about the last page?
Yeah.
Seriously? Where it says, we will ask, and formulate
Taking
questions
urge.
to ask DOT
Specific,
and Citibank.
specificity,
That was Citibank, yeah, that was Citibank, yeah. I had an extra minute to didn't realize. Alright, so February minutes are approved as of right now. Next item is gonna be the street code neighborhood requests. In this district, the segment of Franklin Avenue, Eastern Parkway, and President Street. We have folks here, when we get to that. Alright, at this point, I'm going to open the floor to you to present it, of course, like Q&A at some point, and just go over the summary of what the request is.
Sure.
Alright, feel free. Go ahead.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity. My name is Gregorio Ramirez. I'm the president of 507, Panama 507 Roundtable Group. The members here present, Maria Willis, Jimmy McCormick, and Onita Coward-Mayers. Hear a little bit more about them. Panama 507 Roundtable is a think tank advocacy group which represents the voice of the 75,000 Panamanians living in the city. It is an honor to be here. I was a former chair, second vice chair of this board for about 8 years or so, from while I was in law school. I also chair of the Youth Service Committee. I've been a long-established member and 30-year member of law professor here at the university, City University at Medgar. So I have long, deep roots. The Panamanian community, we will go in and just give some background. Pretty much since 1953, the first set that Panamanians that kind of arrived and kind of settled in the 50s and the 60s. They went into Korea War, the Vietnam War, and this was an area where that, for some reason, like all other groups, they settled on Franklin Avenue. A number of businesses and establishment, right, have been established since that time, as Jimmy would allude to a little bit more. We've evolved since then and have the Panamanian Parade. Maria is the president of that. This is the 31st year that we have brought this parade that brings diversity and culture of history of Panama. Of course, we're known for the Panama Canal that unites and brings the world together, and we bring that kind of cuisine and that type of culture here in Brooklyn. It has been long established, and it's been a push from those in my colleagues in the academy and academia, and that, and the seniors, that why don't we have like other groups present Panama as Little Panama as they did with so many, we have Little Haiti and we have Little Italy and so forth. So we're talking about over 70 years of residence in this community, owning restaurants, businesses. I alluded earlier to Waldemar Stewart was the first Panamanian elected in this district. This was his geographic district. He represented us in this 72, followed by Ed Griffith, also from Panama in the assembly, served 25 to 28 years in there, representing another area of Brooklyn as well, and he was a deputy speaker and head of the Brooklyn delegation. So that's in a nutshell in terms of what we are. The Panamanian community has grown. The census will have us a different number compared to the city planning, of course, right? Paco, you know that. So anywhere between 50 to 75,000, but we know our numbers. Maria will talk a little bit about the community and the social cultural groups. Anita will talk about the government relations style, and Jimmy, who's a merchant and a business person in here, will kind of talk a little bit about that. So this has been long overdue by the clergy, supported by the number of clergy of all walks of life. I think we have, over 10 we have letters. We have from Senator Brian Cunningham, Zelno Myrie, Nikki Lucas. So she's of Panamanian descent. Nikki's in the assembly. Sandy Nurse from the city council, and of course we went to Crystal Hudson at first, and she said, "I'm in full support. But go talk to. Did you talk to Sandy?" Sandy said, "Yes, we talked to Crystal." She said, "Well, you have to present before the board." He goes before them. I know the history of the Panamanian community and what you guys have done to develop this community, both from social and economic and a business perspective in terms of the contributions that we have made. So I'm not going to go on too much, but just to say that this is long coming. My uncle, we have photos, came here in 1953, served Korea and Vietnam, 2 tours. He and about 30 of his other colleagues, Jimmy from Cologne on the block, on there. My brother-in-law and the others came in the 60s, and I don't want to get in about immigration, but however they came, they ended up being citizen after. They said, go to the war. So I said, did you have a 50? He said, all they told us is there's a war on in the 60s, join the Marine, join the military, and then they established their life here from that time. Again, serving the country, right, Jimmy? We have thousands of them who have served in the military, served in NYPD, during the parade, corrections, fire. So the support from all these entities is really large, and it's like well overdue if we look at it from 1953 to now 2026. That's it. I'll turn it over to Maria if you want to talk a little bit about the culture and the organizations that Panamanian bring in the parade.
Sure, as Greg mentioned, my name is Maria Willis, and I'm also the president of what we call the SIGNI, but it's also known as the Panamanian Parade. And we have been doing the parade on Franklin Avenue since 1995. It started first with one person hitting on the drum, and it has expanded over the years. We currently annually have approximately 30,000 people that come from all over to the parade, as noted by a resolution given to us by Senator Myrie. So we do have organizations that participate locally, bands, musical bands that participate locally, also nationally and internationally. So the day of the parade is an economic boost, not only for the immediate area, but also for Brooklyn, because we have people coming from all states, we have people coming from out of the country, and we have people locally that come together as a community to celebrate our culture, the folklore, the traditions. We also give opportunity for small business owners to vend on that day, so it's an economic boost for them as well and their families. And it's a family gathering. It's not only for adults, but children come and everybody has a good time. It's a youth engagement, as I mentioned before. The youth come and they definitely have a good time. It's not only Panamanians, but we have different nationalities that come and participate in the parade. So our parade is known in October. It's done just before the holiday every year in October. And the influx of people that come from Panama, not only elected officials, but fans and politicians
and just families that just come to have that celebration. In our parade, we have had, the mayor participate, we have elected officials participate, members of the fire department that are Panamanians, member of the police force that are Panamanian or Hispanic, and bands as well. So as I mentioned, the parade is something unique, but it's the largest Panamanian parade out of the Republic of Panama. So, last year we even had the First Lady of Panama who came to the parade to celebrate with us. And this year we're expecting the President of Panama to come and celebrate. So we have a wide history on Franklin Avenue. We've been there from 1995, 31 years this year. So we hope that we could continue and celebrate something greater and have our stamp in that area. Thank you.
Jimmy McCormick, about small businesses and the history of the restaurants.
I just wanna first thank the committee for allowing us to come here today and express our intent and our desire to, well-justified costs. Why Franklin Avenue? The question will come, why Franklin? Because, like Gregorio said earlier, these different ethnic group came here to this beautiful city, New York, and they pick a spot. So Panamanian, for some reason, they just feel comfortable on Franklin Avenue, and that's the reason why we've done the parade in Franklin Avenue. Because since Panamanian been coming here from the late 50s, they established his business in Franklin. Panamanian get to have about over 18 businesses in Franklin at one point. There was a famous restaurant there that everybody knows, a Kelso restaurant, St. Mark's, and we have numbers and numbers of entertainment places, lounges, and so I guess the community of the board will be very familiar with it. And we still have a couple of them there. One's by the name of Latino Sport Club, that y'all have to deal with it. And I have to come here in front of you because it's one of my clients. And for 20 years, they've been really, really, playing by the rules and everything is going good. And there's a lot of Panamanians that came through here. I mean, Solidarity by and like a Lonely Soldier build this community by their own, and people might don't even recognize they're Panamanian. We have Rolando Blackman that playing the NBA for Dallas Maverick. He's a Panamanian. He used to come and hang out in Franklin Avenue from Flatbush Avenue. We have Hector Lopez that played for the Yankees, and he's the one Panamanian that stayed there. The first Panamanian came here in the 50s, named Humberto Robinson. He won a championship, Major League championship with the, that time was the Milwaukee Braves before the Atlanta Braves. And so on, we can mention a whole lot. And we have this right next door. I just learned that my dear good friend, childhood friend, Anthony from Balboa Restaurant in Bedford, then from Panama too, and he's just a neighbor right here too, opening a new spot. Also, we have funeral homes. One that's not too far from here, Caribbean Funeral Homes. They're from part of Brooklyn. They are the Archibald family. And so on, we can stay all night to talk about all that, but the heritage is there. And it's so funny, why Franklin? Panamanians used to come from Panama. We don't know where they come to live. And people say, listen, just go to Franklin. You find somebody to get you where you stay. And they used to do it like that for real. And I know story behind story. So we committed and we so attached to Franklin Avenue that become part of us. And that's the reason why we feel that it's a time for us to get the opportunity to name that street as a legacy. Because there's a lot of people trying to do this before us, but we're gonna complete this mission. And this is our mission to complete, and we dedicated to do so. With your endorsement, we will get it done. Appreciate it.
We have pressure from the best closer, Mariano Rivera. When is it going to happen? I want to be
and Mariano as well. He comes for the parade.
So
he
comes around the boxers
and he says Franklin Avenue because we don't know Panamanian Street or Franklin Avenue. So yeah, that's what thank you,
Yes, I'm just saying with Rolando Blackman for the Knicks as well says, I'll be there, just let us know when. It's been overdue, so we have a lot of pressure on there. I'll turn it over, thank you, Jimmy, to Anita now, who speak a lot about the the relationship with the, elected officials and the history of us. She's gonna add a little bit of flavor to that. Okay.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having us. Thank you for considering this. We are really, really happy to be here, but it's really a moment for us of historical relevance for us. So everyone has made the case here, so I don't know, maybe I'm the cleanup lady.
Yeah, in a good way.
But definitely Franklin Avenue, I remember it, I was born in the country of Panama, and I came to this country when I was 2 years old, settled in this district as well, right on Union in New York. And Franklin Avenue was home, right? It's where my mother went because my mother grew up in Panama, and when she wanted to see her fellow schoolmates that she had lost contact with, she would go to Franklin Avenue. When the parade started, they knew that they could always see each other again there. It was Panama outside of Panama. I would go there, and then you would be introduced to not only family members, but people who knew you, knew your parents growing up. So it was a reunion. But it wasn't just a reunion on that day. It was a reunion throughout, because you knew if you wanted to get a flavor of Panama, that is where you went. If you knew you needed to go get your taxes done, you knew you go to this district, right? So all of the services was an opportunity to do that. So Franklin Avenue really is home for Panamanians, and that's why we're hoping that it will be considered to have a nod to the history that has taken up that strip. I was tasked from the committee here, and I should say I have a company named Comadre Communications, and it is a government relations firm that I run, that I launched. So I was tasked with government relations. So we did reach out to a number of the elected officials in the area. Everyone resoundingly responded and said they wanted to support, and they were so happy that this was happening because it's almost an homage to those before. That's really what it is, right? So when Greg talked about and Jimmy coming and settling in the early 50s and immediately rose to elected positions, it talked about the strength and the intelligence and the fortitude of Panamanians coming to this country and becoming leaders in their right, in charge of the Brooklyn delegation as such. And then for young leaders, I think this is part of what we're talking about, is what is the handoff? So many times we talk about things that we start and who do we hand it off to? So it's part of our responsibility to try to help that transition to the younger generation. So even those electeds who are here now, Senator Zelnor Myrie, Assembly Member Brian Cunningham, Council Member Sandy Nurse, and Assemblywoman Nikki Lucas, these are people with ties to Panama, right? And they don't have, sometimes they don't have everything to articulate it because they've got so many messages out there. But when they go home, Zelnor Myrie is from Costa Rica. So if you're from Costa Rica, you know you're from Panama too, right? So he has to deal with his family and the conversations that's going on in his family, and to have the pride to say, I stand in the shoes of Senator Waldaba Stewart, and I am holding on to what he started in this district, and I am keeping it going and keeping the culture going. Assemblywoman Nikki Lucas, who also writes a letter here, her father was born in Panama, and she lost her father last year. And the work that she is doing here and her family is to uphold their culture, our culture, the work, the contributions of her father, who was very involved as well. And so it goes on and on with all of them. Of course, Councilmember Sandy Nurse comes from a lineage. Her father is the mayor of Ashford, North Carolina. So these are people with, and who come here to celebrate on Franklin Avenue and throughout the district. So what I present to you here is a letter from each of them. And there are more to come because more want to present as well. So I present to you the letter from Assemblymember Brian Cunningham, the letter from Assemblywoman Nikki Lucas, Councilmember Sandy Nurse, and Senator Zelnor Myrie. And of course, our letter to you, thanking you as well, and hoping, for your favorable consideration, and to know that, we're hoping, I think what Jimmy is trying to say is that we are already in the community, so we should be partnering more with your office and with the committees because we're here. So we're here to be that bridge, and we're hoping that we can continue to be that bridge.
And if I may just say thank you, Anita, we talked about the Albany Peace Resolution.
Oh, sure.
So it's so timely that including the speaker, been asking us of the assembly, and Anita will talk about the resolution, so there were resolution introduced as well in the state. So this will be just dovetailed beautifully on the city side. Will you talk about the resolution and the bill that's been introduced in Albany?
Yeah, there are a few things. There is a resolution from Governor Hochul. Last year was the 30th anniversary of the parade of the Sydney, so they honored that and recognized that in the assembly chambers. They also recognize May as Etnia Negra, which is you want to say like Black History Month? Is it okay to say it like that? Okay, sorry. In the month of May, in Panama, but it is celebrated here as well. And we will be celebrating it this May in Albany on May 5th. Last year, we had our first Panama Day in Albany. And so Albany, really, the members stopped to recognize us. There was a luncheon, and we're going to have the second annual one this year as well. So it's like a big change in a small period of time with those who you're seeing in front of us. And then the last resolution was the one.
Cultural stuff that's been introduced?
Oh, well, it hasn't.
Oh, yes, but.
It's not yet.
Okay.
So, but there's more coming. So we're really excited. We're working very hard, and this area is also covered. So, there's a lot of deference given to culture, and Assemblywoman Nikki Lucas having that culture and that lineage is leading a lot of things. Of course, this district is also represented by Assemblywoman Farah Souffrant. So she's very involved. I saw her at breakfast this morning. We spent some time together in Albany. So all of the leaders are talking about, we give you a slice of the pie tonight, which is Panama, but the leaders are coming together to talk about all the different cultures that exist in their community and how to lift them up and the work and the power that they have to lift up this work. So there's more that they're working on, so I shouldn't share that first.
Thank you.
Thank you. But I don't know, who do I give this to?
The chairman.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Then we'll open up for any questions that you guys have. We know this is the beginning and preliminary, so we'll have exhibits, we'll have our historian present more stuff, but we just thought not to overkill, just to come to give a preliminary first.
Real quick, so I mean, you did a very comprehensive presentation just now, Elliot, so thanks for that. Clearly, I think you probably dispelled a lot of the questions that people here would have asked you, so that's pretty impressive. I want to ask one thing. Are these letters that you sent the officials that they signed on to? Because they're all saying it's a rename, it's a co-naming in reality.
Wait, I'm sorry, what did you say? It's a
I'm asking if y'all sent these
as
letters
co-names.
sort of as drafts to the officials for them to
Yes.
sign on?
Yes, they asked us.
Because it's mistaking the co-naming for a renaming.
Is this a renaming or is it co-naming?
It's a co-naming
Okay.
from the request.
Oh, did they put it in? Maybe they added that.
Okay.
Co-naming.
We had
Because people
co-naming.
tend to conflate the two.
Right, thank you for that, Mr.
Okay,
Chairman, yeah.
thank you.
So we had that in these co-naming, but we
Well,
will go
but we
with what-
did provide them with drafts, and they changed them to, you know, work
Yeah,
for
they changed
what
it
they
to
did.
Yeah.
You're CBing or co-naming?
In here,
What,
in this
what
one.
is it? Yeah, but
No,
what,
yeah,
what
this
is
is
it?
It's
Where they have
It
like
came
Franklin
from
Avenue
Sequoia.
and then
Okay.
underneath it'll say like.
and then underneath it will say Little Panama,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
We
what
don't
you
wanna
want.
change the Franklin Avenue
No,
name
no,
at
no.
all.
Co-naming.
Yes, right, co-naming, co.
We grew up on Franklin.
Right, right. So the chairman was got confused because some said renaming.
Yeah.
So thanks for the clarification of
Okay.
co. We're not changing the history of Franklin Avenue
No.
at all. We just want to add to the bottom of that, the
Right.
Little Panama co-naming, yes. Thank you,
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Thank
for
you.
that
No problem, you're
clarification.
welcome. It just stuck out to me a little bit, but no worries.
Yeah,
It's two
thank you.
blocks, right? Just the
Huh?
And-
two
In
blocks.
District 9, it's 2 blocks.
And then it goes across the street.
Yes,
Is it-
that was my
North,
question.
north-south.
CB9, our jurisdiction stops at Eastern Parkway. Have you talked to CB8? Is that what it was?
Wait, are they trying to go across Eastern Park?
Because
The
So what's-
bounds are Bergen to President.
Yeah, so we
Well,
left it up to
Bergen
8.
Street,
Oh,
I
'cause
guess,
it
not
says in
Bergen
the
Avenue.
Bergen
Street.
and-
Street, Bergen Street to
But the
to
parade
President.
usually
Yeah.
begins there, you know, you've
Yeah.
been there.
Oh, say Avenue?
Right, it says
Okay.
Bergen
Like,
Avenue to
we can only
President.
say
Bergen
yes
Street.
to Eastern
To
Parkway.
Eastern Parkway,
Eastern
Otherwise,
Parkway,
it's not
Yeah, you have to go to
the 2 blocks between
CB
Eastern
8
Parkway
and
and President.
to President, right?
Yeah, that's in our jurisdiction.
Okay,
The
so
rest
Jimmy,
of
let's
the
get that to
So
start
it's 4
with.
blocks
What do
total.
you say?
Huh?
Yes, the
4
4
blocks.
blocks, and then we go to 8 to go further down.
No, it's
It's
longer.
It's 2.
Bergen is
It's
just
only
south of
two
No,
Bergen.
no, no, two on one side of Eastern Parkway, 2 on the other.
No, it's like
It's
six.
more than 2, it's probably like
6,
6 to 8.
8 blocks, right, Jimmy? Now,
Yes.
Oh, okay.
The other side of
It's
Eastern
mostly-
Right, the other side.
It's
Okay.
mostly in CB8.
Yeah, most of it is in
Well,
District.
You'll have to talk to both CBs
Yeah,
anyway.
but starting here, because this is Eastern Parkway and President Street, right? In which you
Correct.
guys at,
Right.
which,
Correct.
that's where the stage of the parade and
The
everything
parade always
happens.
starts there, yeah. It's,
Right.
It's a great event, I go every year.
Oh, yeah, thank you, he goes through, right, so that's why we put from President, so you guys have about
So
2 blocks.
yeah, it looks to be 9 blocks total, 9 short blocks total.
Yes,
Well, let's not no mistake about it. Brooklyn Community Board 9 is the board, okay?
their jurisdiction only comes.
Sorry to say that.
All right, yay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Don't repeat that at
That's-
CB8.
No,
We got on camera.
It is recorded.
oh, we love you too.
My bad.
If they come looking, that's their fault.
Okay,
If they look for, that's on them.
that's right.
I'll
No,
take
no.
that.
Number 8, you know, good relationship with 8 as well,
Yeah.
so, but we wanted to start here, giving the president to the Franklin, so that will be next as well, thank you.
Okay, cool. So I have some questions. I mean, I appreciate the presentation and everything. I like the parade. I appreciate what Panamanians have contributed here.
Thank you.
I've lived in Panama for years.
Okay,
Yeah, so I mean, I have a bit of a tie to Panama too, so I appreciate the presence.
oh, great,
Um,
thank you.
and I mean, a lot of folks here know, I mean, personally, I like co-namings that are positive and
Right.
remind people about positive things and sort
Correct.
of spotlight what we have to brag about in the
Yes.
area.
Yes.
A bit more than, tragedies and things that happen
Right.
that are negative. And I
Exactly.
mean, they come in for both reasons.
True.
So, I mean, I'm not gonna pretend like I see them both. I have equal preference for both. Personally, I don't, but there's need for remembrance of both types.
Yes.
And nevertheless, I still have some questions to just understand a bit more, so maybe like get some thoughts out. One of them is just pretty bland, like a bland question. Well, why the 2 blocks in CB9? Since there's so much more in District 8, why
Sure.
did you want to extend south of Eastern Parkway?
Well, one of the reasons is, again, as Jimmy Maria says, the parade, and those of you who know President, Street, is essential for over those 30 years, right? And the park, where the parade, terminates, and then the concerts begin, and the vendors are there in President Avenue, then up to Union, and then up to Eastern Parkway again. That is where, I think maybe the majority of folks and people still gather and still live in those buildings there. So, as Jimmy said, paying homage, that's why we really wanted to start here. We have a number of the seniors, Anita's mother, Alone Food, and many others of them who were in their late 80s and 90s. And, they started from President Street. right, straight up over to St. John's, and they started to go down over the years on there. So we didn't want to start an 8. We thought the best fit would be start from 9 here, right? Even though it was smaller. So in Panama, the Minister of Cultural Affairs, when they came, that's the designation too, that they saw President Street in Franklin. When the reporters come, when the elected officials come, you have 15 members of the city council in Panama come, that's where they stand and that's where they do the report on President Street and Franklin Avenue. So yes, right, Maria? So
Yes.
that's why we had to put this in to start with, yes.
The review stand is right there.
Yes.
Yeah, everybody's all up and down that street.
Yeah.
Vendors hanging out. It's
that's-
wonderful.
So that's by the McNair Park. That's
Indeed,
right.
indeed, the Robert
Yeah.
McNair Park,
From
correct.
McNair Park
yes.
all the way
Yeah,
down.
this-
Correct.
I was there this time around, and my girlfriend, Nadine Chambers.
Of course.
Oh, yeah,
the queen,
Yes.
Yes, okay.
the queen.
Yes. So unless you guys defer, I turn to you guys if you think we should start with 8, but
No.
this is the. She said no. She has a history, so we just.
safest parade.
Huh?
And the safest parade.
Yes. So
Right.
we just, if you know, defer to you. Like I said, I was the former second vice chair of this board and did a number of co-naming stuff in the youth service committee on here for about 8 or 9 years. So I defer to you if things have changed and you feel we should start there first rather than here. We're open.
Plus, it'll help the economy there.
Hmm?
It'll help the economy long term in that strip,
Yeah,
It does.
definitely.
that was also one question I was going to ask.
Yes.
But before that, so some of the questions I have for you might seem a little bit challenging, but it's coming from a place of curiosity. I'm trying to understand and sort of see the road through your eyes a little bit and understand like the effect of some of this.
Mhm.
And
Sure.
yeah, most of it's just going to be just trying to really see how everyone sees this. It sounds like I hear a lot of historical references, right? Apart from the parade, I do want to ask, like, is there like a really sort of historical, or is it more of a current tide that's sort of driving a good chunk of the code in?
Historical and Dr. Leticia Bennington, who's our historian, would be putting a number of exhibits and things together for that. So as I said, it's more of, I think Onita said it best, the generation. Each and every one of us who's here were born in Panama. Our kids, in Latin America with dual citizenship, were in their 20s, right, and 30s, right, and 40s. So what you're talking about is a bridge. So of the old and the new, who travels to Panama every summer when we were kids, right? Or younger kids will go and come back on there and they say, when is this going to happen? So to answer your question is really seniors. We have a committee with just seniors alone in their 80s and 90s that want to see this happen as well. So 80s and 90s, and then it's just bridging both. So to answer your question, it's really with the, because you told with the Molas group and the Torrio group. So there are a number of other organizations besides just the SIPNI where we get this feedback from. So Maria is in charge of those cultural groups that we'll talk about. So I'll say it's both, and anybody else can speak and differ if you guys have a different opinion.
Yeah, I would say, just piggybacking on what you're saying, Greg, is that this is a long time coming. Panamanians been trying this for, a few Panamanians or groups or individuals have tried this before. Since I'm here since 90 with Noriega and Foundation of Panama, that's where
Ironically, he eventually was reelected.
So since that I've been hearing different individuals and groups that try to rename this street and they've been trying this forever, but this particular group is saying, we're going to finish what they started. So this is something that is a long time coming from the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. They keep trying and trying. At those times, Panamanians here in Franklin, they own the whole street of Franklin. They have all the businesses, all the restaurants, all the stores, the clothing stores, restaurants, funeral homes. Don't talk about entertainment yet. Each corner they have a little lounge or domino clubs, But right now we got a few. We own properties as well. They own the buildings in there, the brownstones, and to the point that recently one of the latest one that was there, he bought that property for $200,000 and sold it for $2 million. So he said, this is what it is. But gentrification take over, but that is home for us. Franklin is home for Panama.
Yeah. So at the same time, I'm gonna combine a couple questions like into one.
Sure.
And I'm gonna try to give you like a general view of what I'm trying to ask.
Okay.
I'm trying to understand, like, so on one hand, I want to understand, are there a lot of Panamanian people still living on Franklin Avenue in that vicinity? Like, have people sort of grown up and left and gone to like different counties, like Nassau or somewhere else, or Westchester? Like, have they like dispersed, or are they still there? And at the same time, as a result of that, I also want to understand what the effect of the co-naming will be. For example, if people can't find that many Panamanian restaurants or businesses there, will the naming confuse them? You know, like, will they be like, where's the Panama? Like, will people have that kind of effect? And I want to understand sort of, what that combination looks like. Are they there now, and like in what form? And how do we think the co-naming is going to sort of link people to the heritage that's on that street today, if any?
Well, good question, and thank you for that question as well. As earlier when you asked about the restaurants, I did mention where the younger generation will choose other business and other stuff, but they're still here. If we are in Cameroon, we're talking about the generations of who are still here, in living in rent stabilized apartments, given what is happening now. So to your answer, they are second and third generations that are still on the property register, right, from their parents and grandparents and who've gotten older and so forth. So I don't need to go into the details of that, but if you would see that on there, you'll see that the younger ones are still on the lease, to protect that entity there. So yes. So to answer your question, that is yes. So from the city planning and so forth, that is category. The answer is yes. Your other questions about will they get confused if they see Little Panama and ask where the establishment? Siempre Amigos is now called Latin, right, Jimmy? Latin.
No, that's the different one.
The different one, but
Yeah.
which is
Latino's-
own
Latino Sport, which is
the sport bar.
this is where we need to really get a license from here, the liquor license. You know, you remember that Latino Sport Club? You guys always approved it for the last 20 years. And Kelso Restaurant that was there, but it's no longer forbidden. But further up, we still have more. And the strong influence right now is around President. We got all that President Street is Panama. It's Panama. That's Little Panama right there. And we're coming straight down the pipe from Bergen straight down. You could walk and you won't pass a black that you find from me and still living there, like Gregory just said. The parents were the least continue being in the parents. Some of the parents have passed already. The place is still in the name.
The businesses, I'm not gonna lie, you're not gonna find 18 businesses that were in the 50s or 60s.
Exactly.
That doesn't exist anymore. So if someone wants to come and see that, they will see about 3 or 4 others that are still in existence and running on there or under. For instance, my cousin who owns, right, on there, it is run by, after he passed, right, by his wife and others on there. So those kids are Americanized, they speak whatsoever, but it is still owned by him, and he would have been if alive in his 70s, Jimmy? 70s or 80s. So to answer your question, so that's, if you walk in there, it still says it's Panama, even though it's called Latin, right?
No, Latino
But
Sport Club.
Latino Sport. The younger generation feel to put it that way to attract more people instead of not having it just the old school way, just Panama as it was before, right? So people would see that. I'm not going to tell you you're going to see 18, but you would see that presence, as Jimmy said, and Maria, even on President Street on there, you would see that. Now there are plans, as you know, Nita said, we can't go into detail. There are development plans to working with the elected officials to put a culturals. Do some cultural stuff that we are looking for to do that there. No, that is correct. So if part of this co-naming is to have number of the Panamanian organization. List them, please. List
We have Molas de Panama. We have besides the Panamanian Parade Group, and these are all not-for-profit organizations. We have Carlito Wish. We have Panama Canal International students. We have Ballet Folklorico Roberto Marcinio Moore. We have Ballet Folklorico.
And to be housed in one place, to try to purchase, to have that. So that answers your question then, dear. So all of those will be the federation, and they will be under that same facility So we've been looking at real estate and other stuff to do that there, and support would be coming for funding for that.
I have a
And
question.
just to add to what Greg mentioned, also, the parade is there every year. So when people come, even from another state in October, and if it's called Little Panama, they know exactly where to go. Every year, we gather right there. So that will definitely let them know there is a gathering of Panamanian in that strip, all the way from Bergen, all the way to, President Street.
Okay.
Yes. It sounds like what you're seeking is something in the African culture. There's a word called Sankofa.
Of course.
Right.
Of
That
course.
you're looking in the
Of
past
course.
to keep the philosophy so that you can move forward, because here now in the United States and in different areas, even with the dialect, they're saying that the New York dialect is no more.
It's no more,
The
yes.
Southern dialect is no
It's
more.
no more.
So some of the things that we grew up, because my parents had a restaurant on Rogers Avenue for years.
Right,
You know,
okay,
and I walk down the street and I see an old chum, I was like, I remember those burgers back then, you know.
Right,
So,
correct.
But what I want to say is I commend you for doing this.
Thank you.
And there's one thing I was kind of curious about. The census only had you down in the building, the Department of Building only had the population down for Brooklyn or in the metropolitan city area for like 35,000, and you talk about 75,000. So how does that impact maybe getting resources and things to help to uplift your community, and how can we get the correct figure
Yeah.
so that it would, show what's actually going on? Because I guess, if you come in here, like you say, they said, where am I gonna go? Just go to Franklin Avenue.
Right.
But what resources and how are the elected officials going to, help to uplift?
And that's a good question, and I alluded to it earlier with, if you look at the New York Times article, also made reference to that during the parade time about 2 years ago. There's a 2022 or 2023 New York Times article that mentioned the cuisine and mentioned the numbers as well, and the Times kind of inferred that from the reporter from being at the parade and being places, the numbers are more. So if the parade brings alone 30,000 folks, even though they're folks from outside, part of that is folks, and I had 8 years at City Hall. For my 8 years at City Hall, it's a challenge that I had with city planning. As I've mentioned it earlier. How do you then register those folks, right? How do Jewish American, Italian Americans, and other continue to keep that heritage, right, and that culture? Because the city planning, as they indicated to me at that time, is that they will take the parents who are registered as Panamanian and do it with the census, and they make a correlation. This is why the census changed, right? As you know, the census every 10 years, and what do they put now? They put, you can shoot your race, African, and then ethnicity, and you can put Panamanian, Cuban, and so forth. With that now, in the next 10 years, you will see the numbers rise.
Oh,
As
that's
someone
proper
who teach
information
urban and
and
city
education.
planning.
With proper information and
With the
education
proper, yes, correct.
and awareness.
So in correlation with the United States Census, which urged folks to put African American, put that in your ethnic, from ethnic culture, Hispanic, right?
Okay.
And what country, and you could put in that box the countries that you're from. So the census is every 10 years.
Okay.
That data now will be reflected in the next census, which will be 2030. So
Okay.
that will enhance the numbers, and you're right, because when elected officials want to add schools, and you want to add senior centers and nursing homes, you look at the data, right? And as Maria says, so it will add not only Panamanians alone, but all services will happen. Nobody stop you and say you got to be Honduran, you got to be Filipino, you got to be this. No, but it will add to that. So I'm expecting those numbers to rise.
Okay,
And
and,
if I-
go ahead. And I just wanted to say that I believe that this is gonna pass, but the DOT has like a website where you can put your history, so when they see the name of the street, because I had, contacted the DOT, because we have so many streets that are co-named everywhere.
Yes.
And I talked about, could we have a QR code, that when you go to that street, there's
Right.
something there, but the QR code process was breached, and when you went to go to the co-name, somebody infiltrated it and put something.
Right.
Oh,
But
boy.
they have a website where
Right.
you can go and you can put your history of whatever it is, so
Okay.
you may want to consider that once you finally.
Duly noted.
If
Duly
I
noted.
can also add to
Go ahead,
what
Anita.
you said, Greg, as well, to respond to you, that I really believe there's a time and place for everything. And we had those who came before us and laid this groundwork. And now we are here with the expertise of our ancestors, right, to kind of carry their work forward. Also, we have here Dr. Maria Willis, right, who is in social services, right? So this now gives us an opportunity to, because everything is about advocacy as well. So, you know, combining the advocacy of getting what's needed in the community is that you also have to have the expertise from within. So we are at a place where we have this expertise and many more as well that can help to push us along. And yes, to see those types of services on the strip as well. So,
Yes,
right?
mental health
Get rid of it.
and so forth with her expertise and many others with the green therapy and Annie and others, Jimmy, that in social, psychotherapy and so forth, to offer those help and those things that haven't been there already. All of that will be part of the federation in that building.
Okay, I was gonna ask you a different question, I think you can answer it,
Mhm.
because, so,
Sure.
the reasoning behind my questions
Mm-hmm.
was that, if this is a, you know, a current thing where there's primarily a lot of Panamanians there now, and restaurants and all that stuff, you know, it would make sense to kind of anchor that there and get the name on it and sort of help that flourish.
Sure.
And if it were historical, where the sort of the heyday of that would have been in the past, which is what it seems to be, sort of, but there still is some remaining, you know, heritage and influence there. I think the function might be to sort of see how we can bring it back with some kind of an anchor and sort of reignite, you know, the interest and commitment to the area.
Correct.
And I was gonna ask as like a final piece
Mm-hmm.
to just see like what the expected sort of what it would be expected to attract or sort of ignite when this co-naming is there. But it sounds like that sort of building facility might be a good example of that, where it kind of
Correct.
houses,
Right.
you know, different outlets of Panamanian culture and stuff like that.
And historical stuff, and we're
Yeah.
having meetings, I have meetings with the last administration with the New York City Department of Tourism and so forth. Same as the tourism department in Panama, the Minister of Culture there, to have those things there and to have exhibits and so forth and art and so forth. So it would be a combination exactly in that location where, and of course this proposal, to get the building and get that, just like other social organization request funding to have buildings, you know, and to provide social services. That will ignite and continue to add that to answer your question, correct? So those are projects and proposal in place.
Okay.
And
I have
if you
no more
mind,
questions.
if you mind, just to add more a little bit, the parade that, besides by Madam President here, has a lot to do, not only just the parade itself, but the community. All those businesses that they are new businesses, they are already related to Panama. They know the history about Panamanian in that street. You can go to any of those locations, the restaurants, the bodegas, and they know the history behind it. They know that those Panama Street, they know that Panamanians stopped their ground in there when they just came here. And it's a history behind. These are these store people, because on the parade, we reach out to them and they say, oh yeah, the guys are Panamanian that came here from the 60s, from the 50s. We know, they know the history. So the street, Franklin Avenue, already known for everyone as the Panamanian.
So the businesses are
Yeah.
supported in essence during the
And they do
parade time.
support it.
To use the restroom, to go in there and eat, and so forth. Even some of them try to put some of the cuisine as well on there, you know, to make
Yes,
extra money, or the
yes.
drinks and so
Yeah.
forth. So already that relationship is already been formed and continue to grow. All
Okay.
right, thank you for the opportunity.
I'm out of questions. If anybody else has some questions, feel free to ask them, but I'm all good.
It is a great party event.
Thank you, thank
Paco,
you.
anything in your end?
Alright,
Thank
You know, very quickly,
Yes, ma'am.
my question, you said people asked about this before, and I saw, I think in 2010, there was a request for it. How come it didn't pass then?
I think
I mean, I fully support it. I think we're very
I-
in-depth and thorough. It's wonderful. Just curious, was there something it just didn't finish before?
they just didn't finish, they just kind of dropped it, their Paco, that was it. Yes, as Jimmy's saying, they tried before, that's it.
Okay, I fully support it.
Okay.
I
And they
think
buy
you
the
can make a
grocery, they
motion.
went to the kitchen, but they left the stove on and they and then finish. So we had to finish. When we got chef, then was cook. We got chef.
All right.
alright, I'm open to any motions on this. If anyone wants to make one, feel free.
Make a motion to accept the claim.
Alright.
A second.
To coordinate. Do you have any opposed to this? No? Malcolm? Andrew? No? Okay.
Thank you,
Thank
Leslie.
Counting consent, unanimously approved.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and the members. And thank you for the opportunity again to come before you and see that you guys have the knowledge and the history and the foundation. And thank you for the work that you've been doing. Like I said, I was on here for like 8-9 years, so I'm glad you guys are keeping it up. I know, exactly. Thank you so much again.
All right.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good, thank you. Good. And you better be prepared. I'm gonna look for you on there, because you're invited to be there when that happens. You too, from the south. You know that connection.
I wanna go.
Thank you. Ms. Sankofa, thank you. You know it. That's right. That's what they do. You have to.
Nice to meet you.
You guys did the permit to the younger kids, whatever. You're welcome.
Thank you.
It's not working. Look forward to everyone out there.
Thank you so much. No way. Oh, you kidding? Jimmy. I know I'm from the neighborhood. His mom lives in David. His mom moved to David.
Oh, yeah?
Hector has been around the way man for years. You know him, yeah, of course. He's been in the neighborhood for years. The community, the block association, and all of that for years. Yes. And I mean,
Vivo por aquí entonces.
yeah.
Oh, sí, okay.
How are you, sir? Good, good. Thank you.
I love your words.
That is what they're trying to find the space.
La presidenta son como la junta de asesores de la parada.
Thank you.
Tenemos un grupo de historia que se llama 507 Mesa Redonda.
Thank you.
Estamos haciendo
Well, you better be.
cosas que se empezaron, nunca se completaron, como el cambio de nombre. Tú estás viendo eso hace mucho, eso nunca se dio, pero tratando de ahora.
Is he a professor?
Yes, I make her every year.
I'm his professor, yeah, I taught him.
Yes,
María.
my favorite professor.
Esto es interesting, you know, about the city, what participate. Thank you, sir.
I have my banana ready too. And the price is going up, right?
Thank you so much for your support.
Oh, you're welcome.
Hope to see you there. I'm gonna buy you one of the empanadas when I see you.
I'll be there.
You like the empanadas,
I
right?
always go with my neighbors.
You like the empanadas, right?
Okay. One early and one
I
late,
love,
yeah.
you know, I got this for her,
Right now.
and it's like the mole.
Oh, the mola.
Yes, and everybody, I should have brought it today, but every time I have it.
Everybody asks about it.
It's so beautiful.
Bueno, Héctor, yo soy Jimmy McCormack.
Mi nombre es
Cuídate.
María Willis. Get that
Soy la presidenta.
Maria Willis, okay? So you can go to PanamanianParade.org, and all of the
Okay,
information
man.
is there.
Mr. Chairman, the next step. Thank you so much. The next step is procedurally.
You guys just appear before the board.
No, I know, just
Somewhere.
that's right.
The next step is procedurally.
They'll give a recommendation.
The chairman will do it,
You
right?
guys can all.
This is the lawyer, anyway, just asking procedurally.
See me on PanamanianParade.org.
Yeah, the internet and everything. But I did write
Okay,
it down.
let me tell them, yes.
Ask,
Oh, man.
yeah, I think this month, we're gonna check, but this month might be at the Botanic Gardens, which is a nice spot.
No, me hit me, and then I can do it.
Yes, I'm ready.
Yeah,
Where's the camera? I don't see it.
Hey, let me do a picture of you all. Wait, put his camera down.
You just do the camera there. Do the camera.
We're missing, you want to take a picture?
Okay.
Let me take a picture of you.
I'm right here.
Where's that over there?
Not as tall as Jimmy Kirsten.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Chairman, once again, we're gonna move the procedure matter in place. This is the next step. This is just the lawyer and me. There will be correspondence, there will be
Yeah,
that on there for me. Okay.
I was gonna say that before we all began celebrating. the board office.
That's why I told Jimmy, I think, wait, let's get the procedimientos in place, I
Yeah, the board
know.
office will send you the correspondence about the approval and everything.
Right.
It'll be
pool naming.
two
Yeah.
Tuesdays from now,
And generally
probably.
that will move on at some point to the city.
It's always on
And then the
Tuesday
city
unless there's a
council, right, that process,
holiday.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the next thing is just, we'll send that.
So usually the,
I plan to be,
You said I want to take you over
Yeah.
that, all right?
See, is it
We'll
the
do go to
24th?
That's the majority of it.
That's the majority of the further down,
Yeah.
right,
It is
exactly.
the 24th.
Because your approval is only for the
24th.
four.
Only
It's
two
the-
blocks.
Only those two blocks, so it's
President Union.
President Union and Eastern Province. Okay, so I'll go to 8 for the rest, yeah.
Which you guys
One
used to
start.
be
Thank you, yeah.
We're coming from nine tell us to go
Borough
there.
Park.
So nine tell us to go, 8 and they better approve.
Thank you guys, good luck with your stuff. Thank you. Good luck, yes.
Because if black is.
Now, did you finish now or what?
No, I've still got 2 years left.
You got 2 years left?
I took a year off.
Okay.
And I came back, so I did the first 2 years, I had to.
Yes.
I took a year off.
We going in group.
I'm doing the other 2 years.
Good. And go, I want you to go to law school, like,
So
to
you're
your
gonna
right.
have
Next
a-
year. All right, all right, good night.
Have a good night.
That became into a different one, that's what I mean.
and then I have to go, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Alright, well, alright, so we'll take care of the,
We had a couple of questions, if you can.
alright, so next item is gonna be the status review. That's not an action item, so we're gonna get into that, we're gonna do here. That's probably can even move on or continue a little bit. So in front of us, we have little spreadsheets that contain statuses of items we've been working on. If you don't have one, please grab one, and we're gonna take this time, probably about 10 minutes, maybe 15, to take a look and raise any issues you might have with anything that's been, in the pipeline recently. Alright, they're sorted by status, things like whether we are awaiting agencies to get back to us, whether they
This is
are.
very good, guys.
Yeah, thank you, I made it myself. But-
Yeah, this is helpful to have, some of this stuff's from 2024.
Yes, they are. And this generally encapsulates what we've been working on, what the last steps we've taken, future steps needed, and where it's sitting at right now.
I better see that painting that needs to be done on this list.
Oh, she said you better see it.
What painting?
The painting for the car share spot that never got done.
That's not gonna get done, Teresa. That's not, so that isn't an actual spot. So that, what you're asking about, because we went and saw it in person, what you were asking about is when they put the car share signs down, they usually put one spot before it and one spot after it, right? So it's the sign
No.
and it's usually flanked by 2 spots, but it usually comes with 2 spots in general, right? And the point I remember you raising was that there's a 3rd spot.
This
right?
isn't, no, this isn't this, I'm talking about the paint. The paint was originally on Sullivan. They had the paint, they had the spots on Sullivan, right? They never removed the paint. And they never put new paint when they moved the sign to Ludlam, right? There's the 3-spot situation, but there's also the Ludlam spot. The sign is there, but the paint isn't there. The paint designating the ride share spots. I've been over this so many times, I can't believe it. And then now the spots were never painted over, removed. The paint was never removed for the ride shares on Sullivan, the 2 spots right in front of my neighbor's house. They were never removed. Somebody went out there and painted them, but that paint that was painted over those lines is now worn away, so you could see it again. So it's becoming a bigger problem.
Okay.
Because, the ride share people return a car, they don't know where to park. People have a fight because they get a ticket because that sign is kind of elusively, it's hard to see.
Did you send pictures?
I've sent so many
Okay.
pictures, I've been complaining about this for 2
Okay.
years.
I thought that was the 3-spot situation that you were talking about.
There's 2 problems, it's the
Okay.
paint needs to be done. The painting, if the paint were there, then we would have so many problems.
Okay.
But it's like, technically it looks like there's 5 spots. The 3 spots from where the sign is, it's supposed to be 2.
Well, that they're not gonna change that. That's what I was trying to say.
I'm not asking you to change it, we just want the paint.
Okay.
The paint will clear everything up, right?
It should. It might.
It'll be really obvious then. People won't get tickets, people won't
I mean,
fight,
that's a good point.
people, you know, that's
Yeah.
the problem. The problem is ticketing, and there's like a kind of, it's kind of a trick, right? And the cops come a lot, people get tickets, people get towed there. And they end up with these huge, enormous fines
Okay, so
and
that's
tow
not.
bills. So
That's
let's do that already. I wanna see that on this list. And I'm gonna complain, and I'm gonna come every time until it's done.
Okay.
You said you're the one that had them move that sign in the first place. The neighbors wanted it. The neighbors told me they never said that.
Huh?
That's what was said. When the sign got moved from Sullivan to Ludlam,
Yeah.
you asked for that apparently.
No, yeah, I did.
That's what you said. Well, then you said you talked to my neighbors that live there on that corner. You said you talked to them. The neighbors wanted it. The neighbors did not want it. No neighbor said they
You
wanted
can
it.
talk to them.
Because we had a meeting about this.
So are the neighbors here?
No, but we've been in corresponding with email in the past, and I could get them here, but they're kind of sick of it, because they've been dealing with this for 2 years. The dumping from the cars not moving, they have to clean up after those cars.
Okay, well, the thing about it, I mean,
And all the leaves fall, and then the cars don't move. The cars don't move for the block party. It's a big problem, it's very annoying, and just put the damn paint down already.
But the paint's not gonna get the cars moved at the block party.
No, but if the
No.
paint's there, they'll stop the tricky tickets, and
Right, right,
people
right.
crying, and people
Yeah.
fighting,
Right, right,
and people calling the cops, and the cops always there, you know.
right. Okay, so we'll make a note of that.
Yeah, we'll
And
make a note.
she's, you know, this is like the 15th time at least.
You've
She's
all
brought it
heard
up,
me
she's
complain
brought
about
it
this,
she's
right?
brought it
Yeah,
up
we remember
several
And I don't
times.
see it I was hoping to see it on this great list, but it's not
I
there.
had, no, because I had thought that the
'Cause you don't
free spot
care.
situation was resolved.
No, it is not resolved, okay? How is it resolved?
I had thought the free spot situation.
No, Ethan,
Can I explain?
no. Let's just move on, let's just get the paint down, let's not waste any more time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, okay.
I
So
want it on
the
this
first
list
part-
next time, and I want that paint.
Okay, we got it. Thank you so much for bringing it up again. Parker is making the notation, and we'll look on it and we'll add it to the list, because she has talked about it. If we go back and look at the
got it.
film and the
We got it.
pictures, she's definitely brought this up, and it's a paint issue, I think. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
moving the sign, so it appears that
No,
the
yeah.
sign is not gonna be moved, but
It
it's the
wasn't-
paint that makes the conflict.
It wasn't about the sign. What we had talked about before was that there was a perception that it looked like Zipcar got 3 spots.
Right.
Because the way where the sign is placed, you can park before and after it, but then there is the stop line, you know, right before the crosswalk, and there's a big gap between the last car, the stop line, and the crosswalk. So there's like an illegally usable spot right there. So people think that's a third spot, when nothing should be parked there ever. So that's
Why not?
why, because it's on the stop line. You don't park in front of the stop
Also,
line
it's
on
on
the
the
street.
stop on the
You
stop
can
line.
actually fit 3 cars there easily
You're not supposed to.
without crossing over the line.
But DOT specifies that it's not about the length of the car, it's about the axles. Your axle has to be inside
The line.
the line. So if you have a small car, it doesn't matter how large your trunk space or car goes over that
Right.
crosswalk, as long as your second axle is within the
Right,
verified,
you're
you are
good.
legally good.
Right. People think they see that size and like, oh, you can fit 3 cars there. But
So if you have a bigger car, let's say your ass sticks out and blocks some of that crosswalk, as long as
You're
your
gonna get
axles are
ticketed, right?
inside, you cannot be ticketed.
Oh, that's good to know.
Correct.
But
Say
that
it again.
happens a lot.
If you have
It
a
has
big
nothing to do
car-
about the size, it has to do
Okay.
about your axles. Both
Okay.
axles have to be within the permitted area.
Okay.
right. So it's actually 2 spots.
I don't
But-
want to have to bring this up again,
Because
but
that
I will.
variance exists
I will bring it
often,
up
you'll see
again
a
and
variance
again,
after,
please,
let's say, one of the signs that says everything in this direction.
Right, right, right.
There's usually an easement between that sign and where the crosswalk begins.
Right, right, right.
That was there for many, many years when we didn't have minis and small cars and
Right,
things
right,
that apply now that didn't apply then. So if you look at DOT or traffic infraction bylaws, you are a ticket is issued where your axles are, not where the whole car
Okay.
occupies.
Alright, thank you.
Alright. So we're gonna add that. We already voted on this before, so we'll just add this. We'll it's on up the sheet, add this little list of things, and we'll get some thumbs out from the.
I've got enough tickets to know from the traffic
Alright.
guys.
The car share resolution from
So who's
October 2023.
Sorry, you got a question?
You gonna follow up on that?
Yes, I am.
Thank you very much.
I mean, I came to Walter True to see it myself.
I sent you a lot
I
of
didn't
pictures.
spend-
I see it every day. I'm
Right.
sick of
I
tickets,
also
I'm
do.
sick of towing, I'm sick of fights. Let's
on the
just
same
get
street.
the paint down, okay?
So I don't know, there's a lot of stuff that's still lingering, you know, that I'm riding through the city where there's not stoplights, and I put in requests for the stoplights, and DOT said, oh, we got it. And the one on Nostrand Avenue, and I can't remember the street that I'm going across, it'll be a year that I put the thing in, a whole year, and they haven't even done anything yet, a whole year, and that's a stoplight.
Right. And
It's
they're still fixing down poles.
It's
from the last
Herkimer
visit.
Street, that is it, Herkimer Street and Nostrand Avenue, when you're going east, right there on that street, there's one stoplight that's not working, and it's like, a year,
All right.
Really?
a year.
Let's move quick here.
Okay,
We don't
I'm
wanna-
sorry, I'm sorry.
It's hard to come back. Let's not take too much time to do it. You have
Is
to-
that on
you
the
have-
list?
I just had a question.
No,
Yes,
but
yes.
that's
One second, hold on, guys. You have
I'm sorry.
one second.
My only
guys.
question
Go
is
ahead.
when you get to new business, I come here tonight to ask this committee's assistance with something very similar, so I'd like to ask my question when you get to new business, please.
Okay.
So we're gonna skip through here, we said 10 minutes, right?
Yeah, we have the time is up. Sorry, we got 8 minutes left.
8 minutes,
Well,
okay.
Sorry, guys, but. FDNY sidewalk parking.
All right.
I'm curious, a lot of things, I mean, we all share the frustration when an agency, DOT or DEP, whatever, is just not doing something quickly. A lot of that's just out of our control. We can like pester as much
Right.
as possible, but you know, we could do only what we can do. There's some things that like I'm puzzled, like the Empire Rogers pedestrian island. It's still waiting contact from agency, but we initiated that, we spoke about that in September 2025. And unless it's a typo, we didn't send a letter for a year?
I'm pretty sure we did, but there was a recent update. We sent one again on Monday.
So that's a second letter.
Yes.
Yeah, wait, on Monday, was that?
Yeah.
But this was.
It says
Sorry.
September
CCUS.
2025.
There's another one on Monday.
Can you CCUS?
Dante sends the emails. I don't.
Okay. I wish
So-
we knew.
The date just needs to be changed.
So you said the Rogers,
There's another.
that says 10/27,
I think-
2026,
Yeah,
10/27.
like that's
But
year-
that, so that was so there was a third one sent up. That was the second.
But that hasn't even come yet,
initiative.
10/27, 2026.
That's what I'm saying.
2025.
That should be 2025.
I'm mistake.
Oh, got it.
5.
Okay, so that's exactly.
But you're saying Dante sent another letter to
Monday.
DOT about this.
This week, yes, Monday.
Got it. And has just not heard anything else.
Not yet. We sent it to the DOT commissioner, the agency, of the involved folks.
Okay.
Yeah,
There's a lot of things
we can forward that to you.
we could, our hands are tied, but anything that we could take action, obviously we should just move as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
And like that didn't get a board resolution just because we don't need it, Dante could just handle that
Well,
directly.
the executive committee decided
Decide,
it
yeah.
was going to be out of the office.
Okay.
Yeah, because typically what happens is if you bring up a single issue, that ends up being communication from the office. If you want to create like a framework or solve issues all at once and tackle them as a group, like make principles, for example, like we did with the car sharing stamp stuff, and set new standards for the district, that's a resolution. But to say, we're not gonna say we resolve to like fix the street light on the corner, that's not how that works. So we don't do
Too
that.
specific.
It's too specific. Well,
Okay.
Why are some of them highlighted? Are these like more bold? Are these
there's only
more?
one highlighted, I think the person just clicked it before they printed it. I'm the-
Some of these seem much more, you know, like
There's a lot of meat to some of these.
higher grade.
My question, going off of what Paco said, is I feel like sometimes we have a very narrow window of opportunity to enact some of these things. For example, we passed in April of 2024, I believe, the Empire Boulevard bike lane resolution
Yeah.
to extend it from Bedford to Prospect Park. They are currently doing work at Ocean Avenue at Prospect Park. We are losing our window of opportunity.
What do you mean? That's been passed already. They
Yeah,
know that we
and what
approved-
have they said?
It says awaiting contact.
Yeah, they haven't replied to us about that.
So we need to bang the
They
drum. This is the
haven't- they
last
haven't-
time that we could probably
But
get
the-
this
I
to
mean,
be happening in
That would
this
be
design.
amazing if they
I
could
don't think
work
so.
our resolution into a thing, but like, we saw that project in 2019.
Yes.
They're not, like, those money was already allocated.
I
Like-
foresee a future where the design of whatever they're doing, number one, doesn't account for this, because I don't think they know that we want it. And number two, makes it infeasible for it to meaningfully connect and connect in a way
You're
that
talking
makes
about
sense.
Empire Connect.
Yeah.
So what they're gonna do will
Will make it harder
impossible for us
for
to
the
get.
future version of this, when
Yeah.
DOT does pick up the phone to actually make that connection.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Well,
worried
isn't
about.
there supposed to be, like, for that specific spot, there was like a young man who came to present to us many months ago and said he was like the point person.
Yeah,
So.
and we emailed him.
Did we? I don't
What
know.
happened?
Like, did the office email him? That was the plan. Email the Prospect Park Alliance and their engineer.
Like whoever is the project
That
liaison.
guy with the beard.
I don't know if you
They're a
have
senior traffic engineer
But
from Prospect
There
Park.
was one person who said if you have questions, I'll be the one to take them.
I
So
see,
it
I
sounds
see
like
him a lot in the park.
we have a question.
I see him.
So we should go to that corner and talk to them right there or something, because they've started construction.
I mean, we can't,
So-
anyone,
But what is his cog in the wheel? You know, you will give him the questions, and then what happens to the questions after he gets back to his job? Because I'm not sure if the different agencies are actually talking to each other and sitting down at the table at
But
the
it's the
same time.
same agency.
So
Okay,
it
it might
sounds-
be the same agency, but
So-
you know, I'm working
It
on
just-
this project, and
No, but he is, right, but
this project is at stage A, and the
Right.
other project is at stage Z, and we
Right.
already put the
But
bid
if the
out.
travelers
and-
change,
But
like
it
if he's
sounds-
working there and then a tree falls down on that sidewalk,
Right.
it's now his problem, right?
It's
So
okay. It sounds like there's two frames happening here. One of them is sort of a worry that they're gonna botch this and make it difficult to link into the street that's literally connecting into Ocean Avenue, which I don't think they would make that big a mistake, because it would only logically make sense to connect it into its continuing boulevard. But the other thing I'm seeing is that there might be an appetite to sort of jump on this and say, hey, since you're doing Ocean, can we just, you know, turn Empire Boulevard into a protected bike lane too? And I'm not sure if this is the time for that. Do we? I mean, it feels like it is.
I
sure,
don't even
but-
think that they know that we want it. I don't think that audience who's doing millions of dollars of bike lane work on the same block knows that there's a request to connect these two bike
And
parts of
sometimes
it.
I wonder about things that get sent out from this office. I think nobody reads them. Because I've got letters from here that we've written, and I've brought them to officials at meetings and said, did you ever see this? And they say no.
I'm not.
You know, but then they see it and then they're like, good. Because I'll go to like, you know, Yvette or somebody, you know, Crystal, I go to see them in person for other things, and sometimes I'll bring letters.
But is the letter CC to them?
Yeah.
So CC to them.
But I think they don't look at their email, you
Oh,
know?
they do.
They get a lot
they-
of emails.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, but I
You
think
have to
so-
do consistent follow-up, and if that's not
That's what I'm,
happening, then
that's
it's
exactly what, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Well, it'd be a
But I-
higher
but I think
threshold
our
than not
offices,
just the
you know.
park liaison, the park, like to Keith Gray directly.
No, that's
You know,
what you're
like-
into. A lot of these people know more than you think. Like I've been in meetings with these guys and they've brought up pretty minuscule pieces of information from the resolutions that we've made
Then the
before. So a lot of the
information's
time they
not
know.
coming back down to us then, the lowest people
Well,
on
they
the
don't-
totem pole.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure they
But-
prioritize in very small detail.
Like until they've,
That's not a really small
It's
detail.
several blocks of it in bike lane,
I
I don't
mean,
think it's a small
yeah,
detail.
and until they've told us, oh, we're aware of that, we just can't do it now, like that would be an acceptable answer to make, like, we heard your request, it's just not feasible now, it's down the pipeline,
Right,
whatever.
that's what I'm saying. That doesn't really come to us. We don't get
Right, but
those
like,
updates.
that at least
But why
acknowledges.
not though? Because we're taking our time and we're sending these letters and we're sending the follow-up letters, and it seems like there's, in my perspective, you're thinking for them what they can do and what they can't do. My thing is, from my experience, my little menial experience, my little small experience from my block, and of setting up block parties and different things like that, that I have to keep constantly following up and sending another letter and sending another letter, because it's not just my block. It's 20 blocks, 30 blocks, 40 blocks asking for the same thing. So I'm that squeaky wheel that you keep, you know, because come on, if we've been sending the letter to these people, you know, we just sit back and wait, okay, so we send it in March 2024 and it's almost 2027 now, and we're not following up. You know, so that's just me. You know, can we follow up? And to go back and forth and banter with this, to me, is like a waste of my time tonight. And I
I'm
think
gonna
that,
go there.
if we can, look at some of the things
Yes.
and the things that we haven't, say,
The bathroom is not working.
looked at within the last 60 or 90 days, maybe we can do that follow-up and see what happens. Because, I watch Judge Judy all the time, and she says, you can't be telling me what they say because you're not them. What are they saying? What is their dialogue? What is a piece of paper from them? Or where are they to say that they're not doing this or they can't do this? So that's all I'm saying, that's the end of my story.
So with this resolution that, you so well put together, we can only do like a piece at a time because you see all of this, yes?
Right, so,
Which
is good, that we just do a little bit, a little bit, a little bit.
Yes. So, we got Teresa down, right?
Yeah.
So,
Most of these just need a follow-up.
okay. So then we should state, we're gonna follow up on, DNY and Washington Avenue and Empire Boulevard. Okay, you wanna take two at a time or three at a time?
Or just say those three from 2024,
Right.
and then that's it, and just,
Start with the oldest ones?
yeah, just stop.
Yes.
Additionally, what this helps us do, actually, you don't have to debate this here because there is nothing to it, we need to keep moving forward.
Right.
What this helps us do is actually let the office have a better handle on their outreach to agencies.
Excellent.
Because a lot of the time, sometimes even folks in the office need me to remind them to send a letter out.
Yes.
So this is something that they appreciated, and Dante, Mia, they're going to be referring to this too when it comes to
Thank you for
checking
listening
in
to
with
me.
what the committee needs done. So, no, you're welcome. Good idea.
Yeah, so we can just do the 2024s,
Right.
and then we can put the update, because the FDNY, I doubt if that's gonna happen, so we can just either just squash it and then just put, whatever it is,
I don't think we
resolved.
should
or-
squash it.
Well, not squash it, but, it's happening all across the city and stuff,
Okay, but
based
we're
on
only
what's going on.
responsible for CB9, so.
Right.
We decided the only feasible option was to put barriers on the sidewalk so they don't come in too close. But if they're not going to take up street parking.
Yeah,
Actually, one of those for 2024 is Remsen Plaza, which I'm actually a little confused about.
I was just gonna say that one too.
Yeah.
It says not yet brought back up in committee, but I remember I made a resolution, or I made a motion that we
I
should.
didn't update that one.
What do you
So
mean when you say
Okay,
they're not
so
gonna
let's-
take up, street parking, sir?
He's talking about the distance on the street. So, let's stick with.
Let me
Park on the
please,
sidewalk.
Let me answer that
because
question.
it's getting
I just
late.
was unclear.
It's almost 9:00.
It is.
And I want to, right,
It
and
is
I wanna
8:40.
focus, and I want this gentleman to speak. Okay, so, they haven't dealt with your street with the parameter, which it should, the
The
cars.
FDNY,
Yes,
they don't give a damn about
No,
it.
Okay.
They don't.
they're gonna, again, follow up, right?
right,
We're talking about follow up, let's do the follow up.
okay. And we're gonna do a follow-up on Washington Avenue, and we're gonna do a
We don't have
follow-up.
to announce it,
I'm just
we're
saying,
gonna
for
follow up on all of them.
just saying for the camera's sake and for the audience,
The
and
first
we're
three.
going to, the first three, and that's also Empire Boulevard, Bike Lane. All right, moving on.
And you had a question about,
Just when you get to new business.
Okay, so the
Okay.
next thing, Chairman,
We have two more items, which is,
Andrew,
Andrew,
you had mentioned the Remsen thing. You said, it says not yet brought up back up in committee. You said there's an update.
let me know when you bring it, let me know when, you brought that back up and I can add it to the spreadsheet
What
to track it.
can I?
Or if you wanna re-bring it up, like.
What
we should
is the
just-
Remsen thing? What are we asking for?
There was a request a while back to have a traffic study on traffic flow in that Utica, Remsen, East New York Avenue
Yeah.
intersection. That was it. We haven't really discussed that at length since
To
it
do
was.
what? Like school coordination, pedestrian improvements,
It's that
lighting,
they
like-
made a massive infrastructure
Yeah.
change
here
Were
we
they
go.
focused on
in
Remsen?
20, right, in
Okay, Andrew,
2018.
your question, you have a question. What was your next question?
No, like,
You wanna
are
talk
we
about
just
what that was?
asking for a traffic study?
we're not doing that tonight.
We're gonna
Right.
do
The first three
We're gonna
items.
discuss what's needed about that. We haven't decided the answer yet. That's just an item we haven't really taken back up in full.
So can we put that on the calendar for April?
No, not yet. We have other things to do.
Okay,
So no, I'm not.
that's too bad.
Maybe May, probably May.
What's happening in April?
We're not talking about Remsen
Well,
Plaza.
here's the thing, that doesn't need a motion, that could just be Dante sends an email, right?
We haven't-
You upended traffic 6 years ago and haven't talked to us about it since.
Yeah, they could probably come in and we'll talk about it postmortem. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're spending like 15 minutes. We can talk about that later. That's not a vote.
Thank you.
We can discuss
Let's
the option
move
for that later on.
Thank you.
But yeah.
So we're working on the first 3 items and that's it for tonight.
And I named them.
Right.
That's right, thank you.
Thank
So
you.
next, Mr. Chairman?
Okay. After that, bus redesigns on our agenda.
Yes, sir.
And
We can cut
how
that
long do we
down.
have for the bus redesign?
We can probably cut that down to 10 minutes. And
Yeah,
we'll,
sure,
discuss
sure.
it, leave this down to-
If you allow him to talk, please. Yes, sir?
As simple as that, I gave y'all bus stop lists of our counter proposal. You can look at the MTA's bus stop list on the Brooklyn Bus Network Redesign's webpage as to the stops that they wish to add or and mostly eliminate.
Sir,
Okay.
are you do you represent?
I'm a member of Passengers, my name is David Kupferberg, I'm a member of
Aye.
Passengers United.
Okay.
Okay, for those who might not know, this committee has been working on a framework of guidelines for the bus redesigns so that we end up with world-class service in this district. We don't want to be left with service that is subpar. It doesn't help people who live here. So we've been working on a few areas that will help MTA understand, and DOT understand what we need from our buses in this district. As an aside, we have David from Passengers United, and they've made a proposal about the bus network in Brooklyn. That I'm not sure if anyone's read it, but it does give some ideas on what a redesigned bus network in Brooklyn could look like.
Okay.
And
That'd be great.
you're often here. Now,
I saw it and it's so minute, the words and the pictures.
By
Okay,
the
it's
way,
just-
they were
it's 100 pages.
Let me
It's a
see
lot
here,
of documents.
Well, as you know, the MTA is proposing to eliminate bus service along Bedford Avenue, which is why they want to eliminate the B12 stop for the on Parkside at on Clarkson at Bedford.
That's the worst idea.
Yes.
Right, now just to encapsulate a lot of the
That's their,
sentiment.
that would probably be their excuse.
The Bedford Avenue.
Now, what I want to do, since we're going to truncate this a little bit,
Yes.
what I want to have done here is the redesign. It seems like some of the principles used in that redesign are principles that folks might agree with, right? That most trips should be able to be done with 1 to 2 buses or a bus and 1 subway connection. And there are some general ideas that I think might be compatible with this district, but overall, the idea is to see what this district will need. Next month, we can probably come with some ideas to a resolution that might actually help the MTA create something that's more in line with what this district might need. We spent a lot of time in the past sort of looking at lines one by one. We can't do it right now, but I think you want to think a bit more big picture and see what general ideas we want the bus service here to abide by, right? So for next month, let's see if we can. Yeah, so this one we can come back with some general ideas of what bus service here should look like. Should we have, how many 24-hour service lines should we have, right? How many, how large should the gap be between lines? What should the lines look like? Should they all connect to at least 2 to 3 subway stations, etc.? Let's make sure that we have the general ideas for a bus system in CB9 before we can, put out our general set of requirements.
Okay.
I think you can help with that too. Anyone who has an idea, I know they have some expertise at Passengers United too, for what that design might look like.
Okay.
Let's align on the base ideas and build from there.
Okay.
We in agreement?
That sounds good, because we lost a lot of, not lost time, but
Oh, no, that was a
with the
good- that was a
presentation
good
earlier,
call.
it
It took a while.
was more than 10 minutes.
Okay, so
Okay.
we saved about 7 minutes on that one.
Okay.
Good, let's take the last 5 for new business.
I just had I am a resident on Ocean Avenue between Parkside and Lincoln, 25 years.
What's your name?
Mark, man.
Good, just
I'm on the housing committee. For anyone who is familiar with that side of it's park facing, it is the only side of the park without a bike lane. The only side of the park without a bike lane. after the Chiswick, Renault goes up, there is still not a way, you either have to ride on the sidewalk, for anyone who's coming down Flatbush, right before you get to that corner, there's white pylons that force the bike lane onto sidewalk
Oh, I
traffic.
hate that.
Because it's against the law, that's why you hate it, it's not legally supposed to happen.
They should get
So,
off the bike.
right, like, the whole point of a bike lane is to keep bike lanes out of the same traffic as pedestrians, that's the point of a bike lane, and out of car traffic. It stops to a halt, there's nowhere to go, and then you have to ride either on a very old sidewalk next to dog walkers and park, I mean, the park just got a huge set of money, and they're doing a really great job of building up the park. In the last 5 years, the traffic that is coming to the park in the summer is insane. It is insane. We have the smorgasbord that happens every Sunday. This is why, for anyone who lives there, there's no reason why the MTA needs to utilize Lincoln between Flatbush and Ocean. I have never seen the B41, B16, B48, or the other B with anything more than 44, with anything. I'd give you all $20 now if they were above 25% occupancy, right? The drop off happens, everybody gets off of the B48 right after it crosses Ocean Avenue, right by that MTA parking lot right there. That is where everyone gets off. Most people who use the subway, who are residents who use the Prospect Park station, exit on the Lincoln Road because it's our primary grocery store, which is Union Market. Everybody utilizes that stop.
Lincoln Market, right?
Lincoln Market, sorry, because we access that when we're coming home from work.
Yeah, it should be
So-
wheelchair, that's wheelchair accessible.
Next to
Yeah.
that,
But
that's, the ADA is completely uncompliant right now because the elevators have been out for however long.
They're redoing the elevators.
So, right next to that exit is one of the best primary schools in downtown Brooklyn. It's been there, the Maple School is fantastic. It is so, I invite anyone.
It's a preschool.
I invite anyone to walk or try to cross the street, even at designated crossings. It is so dangerous for pedestrians accessing because not even just of the buses that are coming, but the magnitude of buses. There's so many buses at any given time, the entire length is buses. I mean, literally from when you turn that right corner off of Flatbush and God forbid the queue goes down, you've got 16 buses lined up, taking away parking from the very limited parking we have on Ocean to begin with, that go continuing down Ocean. I understand why they use it, because they utilize it as a turnaround, but that's not even why I'm here today. I'll put that on your guys' thing. I'm here because I'm at 231. There is a density of traffic lights between Lincoln Road and Parkside. There's 4 traffic lights. And anytime, but mostly between the hours of 3 and 7 o'clock. The 2 middle ones that don't have intersections, the one by the Mavorian Church and 231, they just blow through them. They blow through them. I've seen emergency vehicles blow them. I've seen cop precinct vans blow through them. Everybody else blows through them. When I first moved into the neighborhood 25 years ago, 6 years ago, there used to be a cop car right in front of the Mavorian Church, and it was a fundraiser for them. They used to just sit there and just pull people over all day long because they could. And I get it. It's less than 1,000 feet of 4 traffic lights. It's annoying as a driver. I get it. I didn't put them there. I went to the precinct and I asked them, hey, you guys used to patrol this all the time, and now you don't at all. They said, we just don't have the manpower. I applied and petitioned at DOT 2 weeks ago to get a traffic camera there. I've literally it's weekly that I'm almost run over with my dog crossing that street. It is the only way, also with the new business and open pavilion of the skating rink and the commissary that's there. That is a busy, everyone, you know how much money the skating rink is raising right now for the park? That stuff is booked out till like 11:30, 12 o'clock at night for adults who are renting out for hockey and stuff. And like the traffic is so much, and you literally, there's also a B16 stop right there. So when you try to cross the street as a pedestrian, because it's the only way you can get into the park to relieve your animal, you have to literally like peek around the bus because either a car is gonna cut across and try to swipe you, or the electric vehicles, I don't care if they're jetpacked or not, anything moving above 25 miles an hour with a human body on it is gonna put you in the hospital.
So,
Period.
may I ask, what is the ask?
The ask is for, if you guys can assist me with either, like, can I get something, like, how do I get more?
No, what do you want? What result would you want?
I petitioned for a camera, but I would love if you guys, your advice, is there any way for you guys as the community board and your committee to amplify that ask? Because it's a 12-week process as of now, and it has to go under their review.
Can you clarify, what is the ask?
The ask is for a traffic camera on my traffic
Like a red
crosswalk.
light.
A red light camera to
Which crosswalk is yours?
It is 231, it is the last one before you get to Parkside.
231.
Ocean Avenue?
231 Ocean Avenue.
Okay.
Where the church is.
No, the
No,
church
that's
is
Passage.
before. So there is an intersection at Lincoln, which is a light. There's an intersection at Parkside, which is a light. There are two lights in between that are not intersections. The Mavorian Church and 231 Ocean.
Oh, I didn't.
But they're signalized, there's a crosswalk.
They're
People-
correct,
Yes,
and they are
Yes, it was-
completely, I mean, I'm not even kidding you guys. They pay no attention. They blow right through them because they're no longer patrolled. That is the ask.
So the traffic light is on where the church is?
Beyond the
No,
church.
no, no,
It's
no.
south.
It's further down.
It's
The
in a
traffic
bunch-
light
it's
is
just a
directly in
residential
front of 231 Ocean. If you are standing in the crosswalk and you are looking at a building, that is 231, that is the park.
Okay.
And there's an entrance to the park right there. That's just.
That entrance to the park, I actually had to,
There's no
as
street across.
I was leaving a few days ago, a vehicle turned onto, a vehicle, residential vehicle turned onto that sidewalk to enter the park through that pedestrian stop.
You said
Word,
That's the closest entrance to Imagination Playground.
Yeah.
yes,
It's a little further.
correct. Imagination is between the two.
Oh, it's between the two, yeah.
It's between the
So
two.
you're asking for,
I'm just asking for some, just
we
assist, just like, you know,
We-
if
we will
that
vote,
means
but-
getting, if that means getting signatures from everyone who lives on that, I will do that. But I'm coming today, asking you guys for, as this committee for transportation, what is your advice? What can I do to amplify my ask to the DOT that has already been submitted?
I
So that
also,
could be-
yeah, I imagine with the bike lane coming down, it's gonna change a
Yes.
lot.
Is there a bike lane coming in?
Yes,
Yes.
their construction is on
started right
Ocean.
now.
That's what that is,
So
great.
keep us updated, you're the expert on the street, if you see traffic patterns change in the next couple of weeks, obviously we'll vote tonight to make or break your request. But like, I think that there will be temporary traffic measures in the next couple of months while they pave and implement this
I
bike
mean,
lane.
I agree with you, but that's also the diversion, right? It's the diversion for commercial traffic to get to Prospect
Well,
Expressway.
I'm saying there should be somebody there with
So
like a
that
physical
traffic
stop
isn't
sign.
going anywhere.
Like there's gonna be
gonna be
somebody
really
flagging in the
bad.
street during construction.
right.
So there's gonna be a physical body in the crosswalk sometime.
Yeah.
It's
But
gonna be a
that
few
doesn't
months
even-
before they're there though, because they were going
They're in
2
Ocean
months
right
at a.
now.
They're in
They're
Ocean.
starting
They're
at
in
Empire and they were doing 800-foot segments.
They're
starting-
between
I think they were
Ocean and-
starting at the new Shirley Cooper.
No,
No,
they
no, they're
started
starting-
at Empire.
They're starting at the north
Yeah.
and they're going
They
They're
south.
started
already
like 2
at,
weeks
they've
ago.
already cornered off, like halfway between Lincoln and,
Right.
and,
That's
Flatbush.
the 800-foot
Yeah.
sections, that's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
first
yeah.
one.
That's where
Your
I see
section
that
is gonna
guy
be like
that
the third or fourth.
Yeah.
okay, so we're gonna end this meeting at 9 o'clock or earlier. In doing that,
Thank you so much.
I'm
for
going
doing
to, I'm open to any motions
3
on
minutes.
enforcement or red light camera requests.
Before you end the meeting, I have an issue I want to bring up.
Okay, let me get this question up. Let me
I'd happily
get
make a
this question
motion to, for the committee to write a letter supporting red light camera request.
That would be great, that'd be great,
Okay,
thank you so
alright.
much.
So any objections to come against with this one? No, okay, that's approved unanimously. Good, we're gonna get that in through the office.
Is that gonna go before the board or
No,
just?
it's about a single issue, one corner, so that means it's going to turn into an office request.
Okay,
It's not
great.
gonna go to the full board, because that's a resolution. Alright? Your request, yes.
So, for the last 4 years, I've been coming here asking about getting the organizers of the marathon to come in here and explain to the people of Washington Avenue why this route is so essential to them when there's so many other alternatives to run the marathon directly onto Flatbush and across the bridge.
Is this the
talking
I'm
full
talking about
or the
Brooklyn.
half? Cause the half
Which-
is going out of Prospect Park this time, right?
Yeah, the
I
half,
thought
the
they-
No,
half,
I
no, it's on
thought
Washington.
the new, which
The one
race
that's
were you
happening
talking
this
about?
weekend is going
On
on
Washington.
It's on Washington Avenue.
Which
It
race
should-
is that?
No, it
It's
shouldn't
supposed to
be.
be Prospect Park or
Isn't it
something,
United?
or
Is it
Grand
United
Plaza.
Airlines? Yeah, let me see.
They put it, they were saying it on the
Did you
TV.
It's on
check the
Washington
side?
Avenue.
Somebody's gonna get.
It's on Washington Avenue.
They put it on the TV, I don't know why they
No,
announced it on the TV and then they put that sign up.
No, that's
There-
all over one.
But here's the problem with this whole
Comes
thing.
to my office,
Okay.
and you're not supposed to do that.
Here's the problem with this whole thing.
Yeah.
If this marathon is running on Washington Avenue, the biggest problem that the people on Washington Avenue have is the caging of people into their homes.
Right, right.
Yes.
This is a big problem. This is even a safety problem. And that no one is paying attention to this. I've been to the general meeting, I've been here 3 times, and there's so many alternatives to run this marathon. It's not a matter of getting rid of the marathon. It's finding a better route for them to run their marathon. If you see the starting point of the marathon, it starts on Washington Avenue,
Yeah, I see it.
goes around, and then ends up on Flatbush. Why can't you just go directly on Flatbush? You have Atlantic Avenue, you have 4th Avenue, you have Flatbush by the aquarium. You have so many different sites that you can do this without interrupting people that need their access a ride and move around the community. And I want to know, what does it take to bring those organizers here to explain that to the people?
Okay, last time we had the Board 10 communications up, we can probably also include council folks on that, so we have, there's more eyes on it too. But that would be the next step, is get more stakeholders involved.
So why did Lion saying that the United Airlines New York City half marathon starts on Flatbush Avenue near Prospect Park in Brooklyn?
That's not correct.
Specifically near Brooklyn Museum and Grand Army Plaza.
Which reason?
United Airlines, right? That's what that's
United Airlines, yeah.
Is that the 2026 one? No, look, I want to start location, watch that, tells you right there. It was in there.
Near
Okay.
Brooklyn Museum and Grand Army Plaza.
Alright, so I'm gonna get some more stakeholders on that, and we're gonna
So sorry for that.
continue to talk to them, alright?
Thanks so much for your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you. What's your name, Mike or
Mark.
Mark.
Thank you, Mark. Alright,
Thank you, Mark.
but we're gonna talk about that, alright? We're gonna get some movement there. But
Do you know if there's ever been press about it? I feel like it's a very good news story.
What is?
It is.
Like it's a
Like,
terrible,
The
terrible
video was last
position
year, yeah.
that if you're caging in the residents there, it's just,
But not only that, think about if there is an emergency in the middle of a block, you need an emergency vehicle to get, how do you get through thousands of people? There is a
Well,
firehouse right on St.
They
John.
have their
and-
own EMT.
yeah.
There is a firehouse in St. John in Washington. If that firehouse needed to get to the middle of Washington, they couldn't do it.
But
They
I
have a
agree, but
strong
also
volunteer.
but that logic would say that we can't have any parades anywhere.
No,
But
no, no, no,
then,
no.
like-
That is totally an incorrect assumption because on parades, you don't really cage people in.
Well, right, that's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
my own
is-
department, my own department on
Alright, one
Rogers
second.
had the barricades up.
This is gonna get
That's a
pretty
barricade.
intense.
That is not a fence.
No, but it had it up for 4 or 5 days.
Alright,
before
one
the
second,
parade.
this
Yeah,
is
so
gonna get,
did
this is
ours.
gonna get.
And I had to go walk all the way around the block for 4 or 5 days.
Okay, we're not gonna get into debate on this right now, we have the next step already, we're gonna take it, but we're gonna continue talking about this,
I
okay?
think like
It doesn't make, we're not gonna continue for 10, 15 minutes about this issue right now, but we're gonna act on it though.
Yeah, I want to see something done about that.
Okay, so it's 9:02, the agenda is exhausted, so we're adjourned right now.
Okay.
As of right now, we're adjourned, agenda is exhausted. Folks, we can feel free to do it's 9:02 PM. Alright. Thank you all for showing up.
So is this on the whole length of Washington Avenue or just the top?
East of-
Eastern Parkway down towards Empire.
The Eastern Parkway?
So it's almost all of Eastern Parkway.
It's the whole of
I
Washington
thought that they
Avenue.
announced that they
It's
changed.
the whole of Washington
They said
Avenue.
it's for one museum, Brooklyn Museum and Grand Army Plaza.